Hello people, today I'm going to show you one gameplay between two Alexandra players. One is Alexandra Goryachkina, the another one is Kosteniuk Alexandra. Both of them are from Russia, and Goryachkina is pretty much special because she is almost 2600 rated player, 2584, and she's the second ranked woman right now in the FIDE list. Kosteniuk on the other side is with less rating, but she was 2 times world champion for women's in 2008 and 2010. The game was very interesting, and it was played in the modern defense, and Goryachkina was white, Kosteniuk was black. The game started with d4, g6, and this is modern defense, e4, bishop g7, c4. In this position, there can be a couple of moves which can be played, like knight c3, knight f3, or bishop e3, and the ideas are pretty much the same, developing the pieces. But this move is interesting because it's really taking a lot of the centralization immediately. But I mean, here there can be some issues with the d4 potential in the future, but as we will see in the game, actually Goryachkina made sure that those mistakes are not happening as well. So after d6, which is standard, there was knight c3, knight d7. This move looks a little bit weird because it's closing the bishop, but generally it's a nice move. It's actually okay because there's idea potential with knight f6 or knight b6, but let's say there can be this, and this. After a couple of moves like this, Alexandra can come with the knight on c5 and have a very nice setup for the knight. So that's why actually move like knight d7 in this position makes complete sense. And after that, Goryachkina made sure that she wants to play bishop e3. So the key thing is to develop the bishop, and d3 is practically the best square for it because it's just giving a lot of the control around d4. So after that, knight f6, and now f3. If there was a queen d2, for example, which can be the idea behind potentially knight bishop h7, there will be knight g4, and after this, you know, position is a very nice for black after e5, you know, because this bishop will be open, so it's not easy for black actually for white actually to create a plan here. So that's why f3, to not allow knight g4 potentially. a6. Idea is a c6 and b5, rook b8, b5, and you know she's trying to really read something on the queen side. Bishop d3, rook b8, knight from g to e2, and now c6. This is all pretty standard. It's all very good. In this position, b5 would be the mistake because usually after this, and this, there can be the rook b5 because of bishop b5. So that's why she went for c6 and now a4. The whole point is not to allow b5 because after b5 there will be take, and now knight b5, which is okay, completely great for white. So by winning a pawn. So Alexandra Kosteniuk on the other side decided to go for castle a5. Why is a5 so specific? Well, it's not allowing b5. How? Well, I mean, it's allowing b5 because Alexandra Kosteniuk actually went for b5, but there would be ab6, and now look at those 2 pawns. After everything, they are very questionable here. Believe it or not, computer here likes this idea and b4 here, and after this, and somehow white is in such a good position. Why is this a possibility? And the thing, well, because after queen d2, you know what's going to happen. I mean, it's just that white got a lot of the space. Black is actually very questionable here, so that's why this is happening. So after a5, b5, ab6, queen b6, there was knight a4, and now white is suddenly very strong. Still, queen c7, castles, and e5, very typical. Even though computer likes rook d8, you know, with some ideas like e5 later. Still says like e5 by white is too early. Still this e5 for me looks okay. D5 is logical, because after taking that would be good, because all of this would be questionable and this bishop would be potentially open with this knight very strong in the middle of the board. So this is not so good for white at all. So that's why Goryachkina decided to go for d5, and now knight h5. Idea, my only logical thought can be those two ideas. So queen c2, not allowing f5. Now king h8. And now she wants f5, maybe. But that would be giving up a pawn. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. Rook c1 and now f5. Very risky, you will see what happens. So bishop f5, knight df6, and now takes, queen d2. Actually, instead of this, one move was completely winning, that was this combination. And after everything here, let's say c takes, look at this, c5 is happening. And white is practically winning. There's no way for black to defend. That's actually what's happening. I mean, it's worthless to say that white is like up a pawn already. Bishop c8, rook fc8, queen d2. Rook b3. What's the point? Well, he maybe wanted to take control of the bishop. I'm not sure. But in those cases, usually the position should be pushing e4 here. Why? Opening up the position. Whenever you are behind, you should try to open up the position somehow and create counterattack. And this move is surely creating counterattacks. But unfortunately, it's still better for white after pawn takes and something like c5. This is interesting, you know, like that this move is actually the best in this position. But the whole point is, might be this. And this pawn might be attacked. So this would give a chances for black, which is for me criminal. But still, after this is just, you know, lost it. White went for Goryachkina went for knight c3. Rook c3 was winning on the spot. So after knight c3, queen b7, rook c2, logical move to defend the pawn. After c takes, knight takes. Now why this is possible? Well, after, you know, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, knight is falling, and now it's equal on the pieces. There is no queen c8 because of the queen g8, and after taking, that goes just into a drawy spot. So that's why this is pretty much possibility. Well, if queen takes, then queen takes, and then rook takes, and black is just winning completely. I mean, that's a logical thing here. So that's why after this we went into pretty much okay position for white. I mean, completely better position for white, but she ended up losing a chance to play the move knight c3, which was giving a clear advantage, because now rook d1 makes sense. Here rook d1 doesn't make any sense. You know why? You can pause the video for a second and try to find the move. The move is a rook b2. And rook b2 is attacking c2, and now it's completely winning it's completely equal. There's no way for white to really take some advantage here. After this it's just question. And yeah, we got into this position. And believe or not, Kosteniuk here made a bit of inaccuracy. Instead, Goryachkina should went for rook d7 here, and after king e6 it's playable. I mean, it's playable. King f2, knight e2, knight c3, probably knight e4 is playable, but she went for a repetition. Unfortunately, after bishop f8 she went for repetition, and that was a clear draw. So the thing was that here she missed knight c3 option, and after this simply queen f5 was amazingly good option, because after taking here there's actually queen h5 and the knight is hanging. I mean, just winning completely. So Goryachkina missed the win, that's how I can say. But Kosteniuk made it a really good battle, so she deserved the draw at the end. But yeah, I mean, this was the candidates game between two strong women grandmasters. And yeah, see you on the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Write in the comments below what do you think about the game, and I will try to quickly answer you. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.